Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining Edfin Microfinance Bank on our third webinar series. Thank you very much for joining. We have our guest speaker here today, Mrs. Teju Abisoye. Thank you very much, Ma, for honoring our invitation. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yes, so we also have another guest speaker. His name is Mr. Ifeanyi. I am not so sure he's here yet, but as soon as it comes on, I will let us know. So we are starting off pretty much now. Before I hand over to our keynote speaker, Mrs. Teju, I'd like to give you all a brief background about her. So Mrs. Teju Abisoye is a renowned lawyer with extensive experience in development finance, project planning, execution, and evaluation of humanitarian projects. She has also been involved in several government interventions and investment opportunities. At the moment, she is currently the executive secretary at LSCTF, and before then, she served as director at the famous UN. I'm sure we all know about UN. So at UN, she was responsible for managing consultants nationwide to provide training, monitoring, and evaluation for a minimum of 1,200 awardees annually. She has also helped in managing the affairs of a non-government organization based in Lagos State. Thank you very much, Mrs. Teju, for honoring our invitation once again. So before I hand over to you for your keynote, I'd like us to hear a word from our MD, Ms. Bumi Lawson.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, Ayomide. I wanted to personally welcome Mrs. Teju Abisoye to this event. Edfin is particularly very happy that you are here to share some of your experience and hopefully also make an announcement on our partnership to all those who are listening. This particular webinar focuses more on tuition, enabling people have access to education they need so that they can get better employment opportunities. So welcome very much, Teju. We are indeed honored and pleased that you are here. Over to you, Ayomide.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. So I'd hand over to Ms. Teju. Our second, our panelist, one of our panelists, Mr. Ifeanyi, is on his way. He'll join us he's stuck in traffic, so there's going to be a lot of
internet traffic, they say.
Exactly. Yeah. So when he's somewhere that's devoid of noise, he's going to join in. Yes. So Mr. Teju, I'd hand over to you for your keynote speech.
Thank you very much, Ayomide. Thank you, Mrs. Lawson, for having me today, the entire team at Edfin. I'm very happy. I'm honored to be here. And basically, I'm just going to quickly talk about unemployment, but I will be focusing on Lagos State. So thank you. Nigeria's unemployment rate, we know, has risen by 4% post-COVID. So it rose from 23.1%. According to the statistics by Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, to 27%. In Lagos State, we also saw a decline. We saw an increase from about 16% to about 19% in Lagos State by the end of Q2 2020. Lagos State has proven that they're addressing this youth unemployment heads on, and that's one of the reasons why the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund was created. It's really to address youth unemployment in strategic ways. And what we do at LSCTF is that we do it with 3 strategic pillars. One, we support small micro businesses with funding, access to funding, and necessary support to grow their productivity. Second, and the one that is more specific to this event, is more around skills that we provide, skills acquisition for young people in partnership with different development agencies. The Government Development Corporation, with the UNDP, United Nations Development Program, and the USADF, that's the United States African Development Foundation. We seek to promote this programs to make sure that employment opportunities are created for young people. So when we say we support it, what we look at in supporting education sector is the potential. We recognize how the education sector can create jobs. One of the reports, one of the 2019 reports by MBS as well showed that as of 2017, the education sector remained one of the first top 5 sectors that was creating over 59 million jobs nationwide. That was as of 2017. Also, our previous programs have also shown us that education sector is one of the promising sectors that is able to create the kind of numbers and jobs that we need in Lagos State. Education is critical to the growth of the GDP of any economy. Once we can get education right, we will improve the quality of skills available on the market. We will also be able to, innovate. People will think by themselves and be able to create things around sometimes entrepreneurship, technology-enabled practices that can help create employment. Our third program, which is also a flagship, our Lagos Innovates program, we support businesses with technology innovation to make sure that they're able to also create jobs, bottom line. We support by providing access to high quality workspace infrastructure, learning again, so talent development program, and early stage investment capital. We do a peer network. We have an idea hub around this program so that innovative enterprises that are based in Lagos can see the government support them to achieve much more with their structures. Now, post-COVID, things have really been, a lot of sectors need some form of recovery. So the Lagos State government, of course, is partnering with private sector as much as possible to make sure that we can create programs and palliatives that can help industries bounce back, especially, but not limited to the education sector in agriculture. And so we will be announcing a lot of those programs in due course and very soon. The quality education is a vital part of human welfare and existence, and it has been recognized as a critical growth area for job creation in Nigeria. The education sector is plagued with various challenges, such as poor funding, deficient infrastructure and training facilities, outdated curriculum. We at LSCTF, we seek to address these challenges by providing interventions aimed at improving the education system in Lagos State. In this regard, we're partnering with private sector, as I earlier mentioned, and in particular, we'll be partnering with the EdFin Microfinance Bank on education sector loans. It's a matching fund loan program to support education sector in Lagos State. These loans are targeted at schools and relevant educational institutions, such as vocational training centers that have been in operation for over a year. Apart from this, it also supports young people who are looking for the finances to fund their education. So we're looking at not just the schools, the institutions, but we're also looking at supporting individuals to get the quality education that is required to actually stem unemployment. So we need to stop it, literally. We're very proud and very happy to be affiliated with EdFin Microfinance Bank in regards to this, to provide this access to affordable and flexible financing for all actors in the education ecosystem. From what we have done so far, we believe that eligibility criteria, there will be an application process, CAC documents, 12 months, well, because you have to be an education, the school has to be in existence for at least 12 months, has to be resident in Lagos, so your LASRA, evidence of your tax payments, BVN, at least a guarantor, and all these details we will be publishing in very, very, very soon. We'll be publishing the eligibility criteria and how to access the loans on all our platforms, both EdFin and LSCTF. It is important to state that since 2016, since inception at LSETF, we've been able to support over 11,000 businesses. We're hoping our partnership with the private sector will help us double our impact rapidly and help us create more employment in Lagos State. We've been able, all these 11,000 plus businesses have been able to create over 11,000 jobs in Lagos State. We've been able to train over 5,000 individuals in our partnership with other development agencies, with over 50% placed in jobs. With our Lagos Innovates program, we've been able to support over 133 businesses with the required infrastructure to take their business further. These businesses have gone on to raise additional funding for their program. In this regard, it's just we want you to know, we want stakeholders in the education sector to know that the LSETF and EdFin, we're working together to ensure that we can support this sector with the right financing to improve infrastructure. And overall for LSETF, our objective is to create employment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Teju, for your keynote. Major thing I take away from that keynote speech is that you said education is very critical to the GDP of any economy. I couldn't agree less with you on that. Thank you very much for that. Very quickly, we would like to move over to the panel session. So at this time, I would like to say, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat box. We'll collate them and ask. At the moment, Mr. Ifeanyi is still not able to join us, but nevertheless, we'll go on with questions for Mrs. Teju. As soon as Mr. Ifeanyi is here, we will begin his own session as well. So very quickly, ma'am, I'd like to ask, posing the challenges that we have now during this COVID-19, what challenges do you see employers and employees have?
Thank you very much. I think one of the things that
I take the question.
I think one of the things the lockdown has shown us is that some people have lost their jobs. At the same time, some people have had to pivot on their business structure or strategy. One thing that is clear, for example, is e-commerce will boom faster than people who have stuck to physical shops in terms of retail. This loss of jobs has also obviously decreased the demand for goods and services. And also for supply end, there's no access to affordable financing at the moment. And basically not because the risk is just higher. And so there's a risk premium that people or finance institutions must put on the funds at the moment, since there's limited demand. That has grown the risk. So I just think that there's a lot of realities that people we've woken up to. But I think what is also good is that we've seen a lot of innovation happen because of the lockdown. We've seen a lot of people pivot. We've seen a lot of businesses doing much more than they thought they could do before. And we've also seen an increase in skills, in different types of skills. So before, more people are going into digital marketing. People are learning things that are more IT based, because that is the kind of employment, the kind of services that people require more than before. Don't get me wrong, I still think that a lot of skills are still required. It's just that the demand at the moment, people are more careful. So I won't have a plumber come to my house. I don't know how bad it can be, that I will let, those are kind of reality, those are kind of things that it has shown us that in reality, people need to, people are being careful about what they do right now. So it has really affected businesses. Thank you.
Thank you very much. no funding, the challenge of no funding, I must say, is very, 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 very true. And I mean, that is why EdFin and LSCTF has partnered together to offer funding to our schools. Another question is the shortage of technical and vocational done to improve vocational skills availability in Nigeria.
Thank you for that, Yomide. I think one of the things that this particular fund or partnership is driving is not just formal education, but also vocational education in the market. It's very important that we recognize that vocational or the informal sector contributes over almost 50% of the GDP. And it's over trillion of naira industry in Nigeria that is just not formalized. And we recognize that with a skill you can earn money immediately, rather than if you're a graduate, you have to wait for a job. But with a skill, you can market yourself. You don't need to wait for a job or anything. So I think that we want to support and continue to grow vocational training in Lagos, especially thinking about the size of the population. There are not just enough jobs, just not enough formal jobs. And people need to recognize not only the benefit, but also the critical part of what vocational training does. Let me share one. When we talk about the essential workers, yes, people would today talk about the doctors, but what I found out in the lockdown was that without the essential workers like sweepers, cleaners, like the delivery truck drivers, very quickly, it became clear to us who the critical workers were. Because a lot of people could, if they don't go back to work for 1 year, we will all be fine. But there's some people that we cannot afford to not be at work every day. And I think that's one of the things that this has shown us, that vocational education is critical, is necessary, and we must get the skills and get quality from it, even in our market and our space in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for that answer. So I would look at the chat box quickly to see if any of our audience have any questions. Please, everyone, if you have questions, you can please drop them in the chat box. Okay. Lastly, I haven't seen any questions for now, but lastly, so I'd like to ask, it is perceived that vocational workers are unreliable and do not have opportunities to upgrade their current skill levels. Are there interventions in place to bridge the employment gap?
Sorry, Emily, can you please then repeat the first part of your question?
Okay. Okay. Are there interventions in place to bridge the employment gaps? That's for the vocational workers.
Okay, I think what I heard was that because people perceive artisans as pretty unreliable, how do we bridge that? How do we reorientate people, and how do we bridge that gap? I would say that first, in terms of vocational training, I think a lot has to do with our value system and the way we have seen and the orientation we have taken towards vocational training. The truth is that I've read and let me share about market access for vocational training. We know that in Nigeria, maybe because of the size of the population and then having sometimes excessive demands of some specific skills can lower the rate. So excess supply means you're not meeting demand, so it can bring down the price. But in other economies, to call out a plumber, just to come and see what is wrong with what issue you have, you pay for just the call outs, not yet the services. A good sum of about $100, depending on where you are. And then he does the work and then charges you as well. But we haven't organized our artisans in such a way that they can charge value, real value for the work they do and what they do in the society. So I look at a particular platform from, I read this in one of the books and it's online, Iguana Fix. What they've literally done is to organize artisans onto a market access platform, which means when you need a plumber, you go in on a platform and you click and request. You can read reviews about your plumber, timeliness, quality of the work done, and all of that. And this has really helped to change, first of all, the face of artisans and also what they can charge. In Nigeria, a lot of companies are now coming up. A lot of innovators have now created these platforms in Nigeria. I know about, we have a few partners with Sabi, Handyjack, who registered these artisans on the platform, already done the security background check. And then they reskill to make sure that the quality of the service they provide is commensurate to what people are expecting in the market. They also make sure you can grade them so that if Teju goes to the platform and Ayomide has used somebody previously, I can see the kind of rating Ayomide gives that particular artisan. And that will inform my decision to use or not to use that particular artisan. Those are the kind of interventions I believe in the long run would actually really help us in driving that market and improving how the industry, the informal sector is actually viewed. So we have to continue at it. We have to continue to work towards it because at the end of the day, it helps formalize our artisans and it also helps improve their economic livelihood because they can charge more. And you can get rid of the ones that are not qualified to do the work. So people are forced to get quality education to be in that sector. Thank you very much, Ayomide.
Thank you very much. You really answered, you did justice to that question. Thank you very much, ma. So one of our audience is asking, how do tech skills company benefit from loan to boost service delivery?
So we believe that as long as you can show us that you have your clients or customers, so the students in the school, and you're a school that is registered and has all the requirements, you are entitled to the loans, you're entitled to access the facilities that are available as long as you're a school. I think that's what is critical that we need to establish. You're a school, whether in vocational or formal training, you are able to bring all your documents and all the requirements that we're requesting from you. So it's not about just that, it's not just for specific sectors, it's for any sector, that any school sector, any educational facility, teaching in any sector. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
just want to add a bit to that. To also say that vocational schools can actually, as Mrs. Teju Abisoye said, can apply for the loans. But so directly, that is for the school to improve, for tuition loans, so that the school fees get paid. One of the challenges that some technical schools have is that they find it difficult to collect school fees. So if we provide loans, then more of the school fees is collected, and that helps also the technical schools with their financing needs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So that will be all for now, Mrs. Teju. I see no more questions from our audience. Thank you very much once again for honoring our invitation
Sorry,
to our
Ayomide.
webinar series.
Hello, Ayomide.
Okay.
I can see some questions on the chat room. Could you just take a few of them? Apologies, please.
Okay. Okay, one just came in now. What of an online educational training platforms targeted at the youth for training on entrepreneurship and professional development? I'm not sure if that's a question. Is that a question? Can such organization get such loan? Yes. So,
Thank you.
so this person, okay. Did you get the question, ma'am?
Yeah, I did. Thank you for the question. And I think what Ms. Lawson has said should answer this question. If you're a training facility, we're not limiting it to just specifics of it's in this sector, it's not in that sector. What is important is that we can see that you meet all the requirements. So you have your students, you have your school fees that comes into the organization, you have your platform. All these things are verifiable things that would matter, and that's what is important to us. So whether you're training on entrepreneurship, professional certifications for different things, what is critical is the fees that can help us assess affordability. And the number of current students you have registered is very important. So we're not limiting it to a particular sector or a particular kind of training institution, but as long as you're a training institution that we can verify what is required, you can apply for the program. Thank you. Somebody has asked about all the requirements, and I think please just look out on our website and on EdFin's website to see the list in particular. I don't want to leave anything out, but I mentioned the promoter must be resident in Lagos. The organization of the institution must be resident in Lagos. Those are critical things. We would need evidence that your students you have the required number of students, and I think it's a minimum of 50. We must be able to see your pre-COVID cash flows. Those are the kind of things that we want you to have. And based on that, we'll be able to, you can then apply for the loans. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. So someone is asking, I want to find how to discover the right vocational training to embark on, because I discover most people decide to involve in 3 or more in order to be successful.
Okay, thank you, thank you. I think that's a very important question now, because unlike before, we went to school because, for example, you study law because your mother was a lawyer or your father was a lawyer. But I think it's so important that now in deciding what to do, we let it be market driven. So what is the market looking for today? What sectors are there jobs easily available is the preferred method for deciding what training you want to go for. I mentioned earlier, a lot of people are now more into ICT because those are the kind of skills that are readily employable. You have people in the healthcare, both vocational training and even the highly skilled ones like doctors, nurses. Those are like areas, but you still have people like caregivers, general duty assistants in the healthcare, even what they now call germ police existing for people are looking, but in other places you will call them cleaners. Those are kind of skills people are now looking for. The schools are resuming, they need this kind of skills. We've also seen a lot of traction with regards to logistics. How are you keying into that service to say, okay, this is kind of thing, this is what I want to train for so that I can get a job here. Let me mention something. One of the ways the German vocational training model works is you first get the job before you go and train. So that while you are training, you are also working with the organization, and it rapidly, the number of hours you spend in school and you spend on the job, it declines as you get your skills. So when you're in the school, when you start, you spend 70% in school, 30% on the job. By the time you pass a particular level, you spend 50-50, and then it becomes 70-30. That means 70% on the job and 30% in school. Those kind of things that are interesting. Do you want to first find what jobs are available before you decide? Would you get a commitment from the employer that or I'll take you once you get this training. That kind of thing that can even help you in getting your education loan, for example, because you have the commitment of the job post-training. That kind of things to evaluate and think about critically before deciding what area you want to participate in. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ju. So someone says, I run an edutech startup company based in Lagos. Please, how can I access grants or equity funding for my company, please? I need funding for scaling and marketing.
You're asking me to talk more about funding sources. But I think that, first of all, obviously, you need to show traction. People will invest in you. I don't know if you know about our Lagos Innovate program. So we have an avenue where people go into an idea hub where they're doing they're providing a solution that actually helps, that also uses technology. So if you have an edutech, for example, you should maybe look at that website, and because it depends on what stage you are. We always say that for a business, first of all, credit is dependent on cash flow, not on an idea. So you shouldn't be taking a loan if your idea is not yet commercialized and you're making income. For now, to get it started, obviously you have to think about things around family and friends, your own savings. Now you have to apply for grants. And if your idea is really solving a problem, I believe that you will be able to access grants, and there are quite a number around. But look at the Lagos Innovates website and send in or make the call to the call center and book an appointment to see the head of the startups at Lagos Employment Trust Fund. That might be a way to take it forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma. So at this time, we have come to the end of Mrs. Teju's session. Thank you very much once again for your time. We really, really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. So Mr. Ifeanyi is now here with us. He is one of our panelists. So let me give you a brief introduction to Mr. Ifeanyi. He is a marketing and brand management professional with over 11 years work experience that cut across products and services. So he's been in this product and service industry for over 11 years. He has had previous experience as a brand professional in the National Consumer or Marketing Unit. He's currently engaged in Lagos Business School as their MBA marketing manager. He has a wealth of experience in board governance, marketing strategy, digital marketing, brand marketing, and operations management. Mr. Ifeanyi must be really, really broad. Mr. Ifeanyi finished with a degree from he holds a degree in industrial physics from Federal University of Technology in Owerri and has an MBA in Lagos Business School. He also sits on the board of Dominican Sisters College, EduTrust Foundation, amongst others. Thank you, Mr. Ifeanyi, for joining us today. We are really honored to have you here. And I hope the internet traffic jam wasn't so hectic.
Thank you so much, Ayomide. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Mrs. Teju and Mrs. Duni Lawson and all the EdFin team. Thank you for having me, and thank you for the good works you've been doing, trying to mediate financial intermediary, promote a financial intermediary within the educational sector. We are very, very happy that we are working with you people on this. Thank you so much. Hello? I hope, Ayomide, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. Okay, I was saying that we'll start straight up with your session, and please, to our audience, if you have any questions, please kindly drop them in the comment section. So first question for Mr. Ifeanyi. One of the major impacts of COVID-19 pandemic is loss of jobs. What suggestions would you give to the current out of job individuals seeking to get back to employment?
Okay, so there are two broad suggestions I would like to give with regards to this. One has to do with trying to get an income, which is about looking for the opportunities. Then second has to do with upskilling and getting ready for new set of opportunities that are coming. So I start with the first broad area, trying to look for opportunities. We found out that some industries have been affected by this pandemic. Airlines industry, hotels, entertainment industry, um, um, logistics, transportation to some extent. While some are growing, agri sector, health, Medicare, pharmaceuticals are also growing, telecoms, ICT are also growing. So if you happen to be affected by this pandemic and your industry falls within those that have been affected by this pandemic, the best thing for you to do is to look at ways where you can gain immediate skills and then look at other industries that have not been affected by this pandemic. So let's say, for example, you work with airline and you are air hostess, and for some time, their revenues has been down for a while. Sacol that works with the airport revenue, we are down 95%. Let's say you've been affected by that. So what then do you need to do? You need to find some skills online that you can acquire that will be able to get you ready to look at some other industries that have not been affected. For example, customer service is one of them. There are some online programs you can learn how to take and treat customers very well, that you can acquire those skills and look at opportunities within other industries. Now, if you now fall within those industries that have not been affected very well, maybe you are experiencing some kind of downtime, or your income has been slashed, which is what is normal within all those industries. Thing is to also upscale and be able to add value within your current organization. So it's not about looking for opportunities you are laid out of work, you laid off work, but also looking for ways to even retain the job that you currently have within your own organization. So it's about also looking for cost-cutting measures within that organization that you can also apply, or even acquiring some other skills, training and development that will also help you to add more value within your own organization so that can even retain what you currently have. So the next broad area is about acquiring other skills that will help you take advantage of other opportunities. There are so many of them that are currently ongoing. If you search online, you can look at other skills that doesn't require you to pay for you to get. Most of them are around data analytics, digital marketing, and some WordPress. WordPress has to do with website development. All these things, you can also see them online. For someone who is about entry-level graduate, or someone who has about 3-4 years work experience, you can do this. But if you are within a mid to senior level manager, these skills may not be something you need to focus on. You may need to start looking at some managerial skills and other management skills that you also can acquire, because at that level where you're operating, you are being expected to add more value as a mid to senior level manager. So you can now start looking for other training and development that addresses this kind of need, so that you can also let the new employer know that you can add value to those organizations. So these are the two broad areas that I think that we can also focus on. One is looking at ways to retain what you have, or looking at ways to also get jobs within your network, people that you know, people that are not within their network, and find them on LinkedIn to say, hey, I can do this, I can do that. can I show you what I can do? Or, hey, can you just hire me on a pro bono for me to show you the things that I can do? You can also look at moving into certain industries that you don't have competency in currently, but those industries are the industries you want to work in. You can offer some of your services free for you to have referrals you can use to get the big ticket jobs. So for example, you are looking at moving into telecommunications and you don't have that skills. You can look at contacting someone on LinkedIn to say, can be able to do these things for you for free for 30 days. And then you can use that as a referral to also look for next opportunity. So those are my thoughts on that. I don't know if I've been able to answer you very well.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Thank you very much for that. I mean, nowadays, youths of nowadays don't want to do any free pro bono job. But honestly, like you just said, it's a leverage to be able to say, look, I have this experience and I can do this. Yes,
Exactly.
So I think
So,
you've done justice to that question. Thank you very much. So another question I have for you is, what kinds of training and programs are out there for these young professional managers and leaders as well in LBS and also outside LBS?
okay, there is a whole lot. So let me start with ones outside LBS and I'll come down to LBS. The ones outside LBS, there are so many of them. They are free, they're online. Just go on LinkedIn and try and search for any function specific training you are looking at, whether it's accounting, whether it's management, strategy, HR, operations, whatever, management information system, whatever. Just go on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great resource for you to acquire skills. Just go on LinkedIn and search for it. You see so many, some paid, some free. Start with the free ones. Now at LBS, we have MBA programs and we have short focus programs, and we also have executive programs. So within those executive programs, they are for executives. Must have had C-suite experience, or you're a top manager, or you are a senior manager, or you are middle level manager to access some of these executive programs, from global chief executive program to senior management program to advanced management program to owner manager program for business owners. And for those kind of category of business owners, your turnover has to be 50 million and above in a year, not in a month. Entire turnover in a year should be 50 million and above. If your revenue is not up to 50 million, we'll have Enterprise Development Center that do certificate program in entrepreneurship management that you can also take advantage of. For those category of entrepreneurs that their own income is not up to 50 million, you can take advantage of these programs. Some of them cost between $500,000 to as much as 15 million, depending on your category and what you want to do. Now, for the MBA programs, we have 4 MBA programs. We have the full-time MBA program, which you can do on scholarship. And we have the modular MBA program. We'll have the executive MBA program and the modular executive MBA program. 4 categories of MBA program. The full-time MBA program are for participants who have had about 3 years work experience post-graduation, can take advantage of that. It will only cost you around 30,000, 25,000 to write the test. We don't own the test. The tests are done by GMAT, owners of GMAT, NMAT, and ESA tests. You pay, we'll give you the voucher, discounted voucher, you can write it. If you can't afford that, you can reach out to us. We'll give you a free voucher for you to write GMAT. That free voucher costs about $250. We can give it to you free for you to write the test. Our application fee is 5,000 Naira. So with 5,000 Naira, you can get into LBS to do full-time MBA program. Now, if you're having challenge with funding, that's where EdFin comes in. EdFin provides that intermediary funding facility for you to ensure that you have that quality education. The details can be found on the website. The details of the admission program, requirements, and how you can scale that hurdle can also be found on LBS website. Then we also have what we call open seminars for any category of individual to apply for. Open seminars are between 2, 3, and 1 day programs that range from 50,000 to as much as 500,000. And some are also on scholarship, the one that had to do with non-profit programs. You can get them for scholarship and be able to do it. So there are arrays of programs. It depends on what you want to do. Where do you want to be in next 5 years? Which industry do you want to work in? And which job function do you want to be handling? Do you want to be an accountant? You want to be a manager? Are you looking at doing marketing? Are you looking at doing strategy? What do you want to do? Once you answer these questions, then the next thing is to now look at the programs that will fit into what you want to do. Those interventions, some are free, some are paid. And then look at the entire budget that you have. And also bear in mind that the greatest investment you can ever make is investing in your own education. That is what will stay with you till you die. Thank you. Are you any other questions? Let's take it.
Yes, one more from my end before I go to the audience. Thank you for that answer. One last question. So tell me, what opportunities and benefits are there for enrolling in programs with LBS?
Wow. There is no industry that we don't have an LBS alum that works in there. The founder of this EdFin is an alumnus of LBS, and so many others. It's not as if we're blowing our trumpet. Just Google it. LBS alumni members. You will see area of results. There is no industry, whether you're talking of agri, telecom, finance, oil and gas, name them. There's no industry you don't have LBS alum. That's one. So LBS gives you opportunity to network with business leaders. That is it. So we always advise people, once you come in there, don't focus mostly on the learning. The learning is given. LBS is an accredited institution. Just Google it. We have AMBA and AACSB accreditation. And there are less than 5% of schools in this world that have those accreditation. We have it. We are the first to have it in West and Sub-Saharan Africa. Google it. Our programs are ranked top in the whole world by Financial Times and The Economist magazine. Please Google them. We are not making mouth. The good thing about running programs at LBS is that you gain those managerial skills and competencies that enables you to turn around your own company or your own business. That is what we've known for, and we built a reputation for it close to 30 years now. So apart from the knowledge and the skills, you gain the network of the individuals, network of people who have gone before you. You have access to that. Again, you have opportunity for mentorship and career coaching. That is standard, is given. Then if you are running for our MBA program, especially the full-time, our career office, because you've left work to come and study, our career office helps you to get you back to work when you graduate. So those are the little benefits that you can get from LBS. So I usually advise participants, once you come in, don't focus only on the education. Look at the network opportunities there. And then look at creating something new. Don't look at the entire student-led activities that LBS gives you. Maybe African Beginner Conference or Agri-Tech Students Forum, all those forums at LBS you meet when you come in. You have the opportunity to create yours and be able to turn it into whatever you want. Some people have set up startups while studying. So look for something that you can do while you're on that campus, because the entire resources of the school is geared towards making you successful. Because we believe that once you are successful, the society is successful, and indirectly LBS is successful, everything works better. So to our own good, it is in our own interest to ensure that you as an individual is successful. You manage your business better, you make more money, you invest in the business, your business grows. Once your business grows, you send people to LBS for training. Even if you don't send them to training, you impact the society, and you are also helping us achieve our mission, which is empowering managers in Africa so that they can be leaders. So once you're achieving that, after passing through the institution, you're also helping us achieve our mission, and the world is a better place.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Personally, one of the advantages I know studying at LBS gives is networking. Yes. And networking right now is very critical to today's. For now, I can't see any questions on the chat box. Okay, I see one. Is there anything we can do to encourage less privileged people to apply for LBS? People believe it's for the rich. Please educate us.
Yes. So that is why we have those scholarships to ensure that candidates who are talented can also have access to quality education. The scholarships are there. We've given so many, and this year we gave and we are giving. We gave to international participants. The guy is coming in from Hong Kong, Mr. Chong. It's because of this COVID that hasn't joined, he's still online, trying to do his program online. He's coming in to join the program, and so many others, African participants that were given admission from Cameroon, from Ivory Coast that were given scholarship, including Nigerians. So people mean less privileged in terms of affordability. So take advantage of the scholarship. If the 5,000 application fee is the issue, because now what is standing between you and getting admission is now this 5,000 naira. If that 5,000 naira is also an issue, try and beg or borrow it and then apply. If you can't even get the 5,000, give us a call. Then we'll now see what we can do. But know that after the 5,000, you need to pay for your transport to the school. So as you're making the arrangement to sort out your transport to the school and back and what you're going to eat while on campus, you can make arrangement for the 5,000 naira. If that is not the issue, get a sponsor that can do that. If you're having challenges, talk to us. We can work around that and see how we can help. So the less privileged, please don't let anything deter you from applying and getting quality education. Just try. I'll tell you a story about myself. In 2008, I left LBS 2010. 2008, when I wanted to do my MBA program, I had only 30,000 naira. The tuition then was around 1.8 million naira. What happened? I invested in the stock market in 2007. I made money and then went back, got more money, borrowed, and invested again in the stock market. The stock market crashed in 2008, early 2008. Then the financial crisis started. I lost 96% of my investment in the stock market. I had 30K. I had to enter BOSS, come down to VI, then the campus was still in VI, to write the LBS entrance exam, and entered BOSS, went back to the East for my brother's wedding. It was there that I got the message that my application was successful. Then I needed to make a deposit of 330,000 naira as the first installment. Remember, it is 1.8 million that the tuition was. I was confused. I had to tell my parents, tell friends, and had to rally around to raise 330,000 naira to make the first deposit. I had that belief that once that first deposit was made, once I was able to cross that first hurdle of making the first deposit, that one way or the other, I should find a way to get the balance. So I paid, went back to Abuja where I was working, and they were paying me as an entry-level salary, which is not even enough for me to survive on. And I made that deposit, first installment, 330,000, and entered BOSS from Abuja to Lagos to stay with a family friend in Ebutemeta, Nigeria Railway quarters in Ebutemeta. And there I was shuttling from that to LBS, wake up 4 a.m. to beat the traffic to get to LBS, because at LBS, there is no late coming. It doesn't happen. Once the faculty enters the classroom, they shut the door. You can't come in until the next break. So had to make that commute and had to find the balance of the next installment to make. If I can do it, you can. The most important thing is to say, hey, what is important in your life? Yes, you can use that money to, hey, to set up a business, to do whatever you want, to buy Bitcoin, invest in crypto, invest in the stock market, or do agribusiness, whatever. But always know that there's a level you will get to, and the business must have grown past you, past your capacity to be able to manage that business. And at that point, you need to acquire some certain skills that will be able to push you further. A business can grow more than your capacity, whether you like it or not. At that level, it requires some level of thinking for you to be able to surmount the challenge you're facing and be able to set the next growth plan for that business and be able to know what kind of money you can take, equity or debt, and be able to structure it properly. Right now, we all know what is happening with Health Plus regards to the investment Alpha Center made in Health Plus and the struggle they are currently in. So you need skills at certain levels, certain stages of your business. I wanted to gain that skills and I went for the education. Make the decision. If you want to put it in a business and run it and do it, the choice is yours. If you want to acquire that skills that will be able to allow you to make the right business decision when that money starts coming, or even when you've not started making that money, but know the kind of opportunities you need to pursue. You need certain levels of skills, managerial skills, to be able to make those judgment calls. So the decision is left for you. But I don't think finance should be one of the deterrents in pursuing that ambition. EdFin is there and LBS is there and so many other combination of opportunities that is out there. What we usually tell candidates is, even with your money, LBS may not admit you. So it's not all about the funds. Even with your money, you may not gain admission into LBS. So the first thing is to focus on the admission. Gain the admission first. Then you cross the second level of hurdle, which is initial tuition deposit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ifeanyi. Thank you very much. So what I took away from that is, first of all, you have to come to terms with what you want and go for it. Nothing should stop you. Yes. Thank you very much. We have come to the end of your session, as there are no questions. So at this point, I'd like to hand over to our Chief Risk Officer at EdFin Microfinance Bank to give us a brief introduction into one of our products.
Thank you so much, Ayomide.
Thank you, Mr. Ifeanyi.
Thank you so much, Ifeanyi.
Thank you
for your time. Okay.
Thank you, Ayomide. I think the first two speaker has made my work very, very easy. They've been able to give very good insights to what I'll be doing this afternoon. And what I'll just be doing is that, what is the intervention that EdFin is giving in order for you to be better person that can meet the challenge of post-COVID. And I just want to say from a quote I love so much, which says that a skill is a set of attributes. It is the knowledge that the labor market requires for you to be able to participate. It's a knowledge that you need in order to ensure that you have the capability of being effective in your workplace so that you can benefit yourself, so that you can benefit the employer, and so that you can benefit the economy. These skills are necessary. You may be a BSc holder, you may have a first class. Mr. Ifeanyi has really get that it will get to a time in your life that it is the skill that will see you to the next level. And therefore, what we want to offer is that finance should not limit you. And after COVID, it is those who are skillful that will be relevant. It is true that when Mrs. Teju was talking, she enumerated the statistics of unemployment in the country, very high. But if you are skillful enough, either academically or in your vocational activity, there is a place for you in this economy. Nigeria is very big enough. It is a growing economy. There are opportunities here and there. You know, you just see one white guy who just come into the country because he's skillful. Before you know it, he doesn't need to come with 1 naira. But after 5 years, come and see what this white guy will have achieved. He will have built a very big company, making millions of dollars just because of the skill. Once you have the skill, every other thing will follow. And therefore, in EdFin, we realized that there is need for us to fund education. We discovered that education is very costly. But if you are saying that it is too costly, you need to try the cost of ignorance. Then you will discover that the cost of ignorance is far higher than the cost of education. And EdFin has come to address is to look at that cost of education, because the cost of not going to school, the cost of not acquiring the necessary skill is higher than the cost of acquiring it. Because at the long run, you will discover that you have missed a lot. What you will have invested in your education, if you refuse to invest it at the right time, it will lead into a poverty level and unemployment. And therefore, the cost is far higher. And therefore, if you are complaining of low proceed that the school is very far from me, Mr. Ifeanyi has just told you that while he was in the Britain Meta, he was going to VI. Sometimes he has to trek, sometimes he has to wake up very early in the morning. And there are a lot of things that are associated with the need that we must finance education. And that's why we have come to intervene. What are the low quality of education? And that's why we have to partner with a school like LBS. You can hear the pedigree that he has built out. These are the kind of people that I want to associate with. What of high risk that is associated with people that are ignorant? What of when the parent die, how do we come in? We partner with people with insurance company. I could say, okay, if your parent die, we will send you to school. But if you don't even have the ability to be able to gain that employment, you are a graduate of accounting. There are so many graduates of accounting. You would like to get your ICANN, you would like to get your ACCA, and you don't have the money. That's why we have come, because the certificate that you possess for now, it has become so common that there is no employment for you, and you need that edge. You want to grow into that height where you'll be better, and when they are looking for a best fit, you'll be the first to be selected. These are the reasons why we have come to intervene. And what's our offer? Our offer is that we give you access to the world. We provide that finance that you would no longer limit your education, whatsoever you want to be. Do you want to go and study abroad? We will be there for you. Do you want to acquire any skill? Maybe you read mechanical engineering and you would like to go and practicalize it. You want to go into that TVET that will be able to give you the necessary start, that will be able to make you to be able to be skillful, not just the head knowledge, but you want to be skillful with your hand. We will provide it for you. And how do we do this offer? With partners. We partner with different, look, we are partnering with LSCTF now in order to give you that cheap finance, not the one with a very high interest. We partner with a lot of people that will be able to make it better for you to achieve your educational goal, to achieve that skill that is necessary, that will give you a better edge to get that employment that will deliver you from poverty. And we are flexible. Because we are very special, we are flexible. If you say, okay, my income flow is on monthly basis, we design it for you on monthly basis. If your income flow is quarterly basis, we design it for you on quarterly basis. If your income flow is timely, we design it for you on timely. We are very, very flexible and we are affordable. Go into any finance institution, we are highly affordable. And that is why we always partner with those who offer, and that's why we are partnering with LSCTF. We are bringing our own fund in order to add to what Lagos public so that we can bring the cost of finance for education into the lowest that you ever get in the market. And we always add value. We always add value. We link you, we make you to be not just getting the money, but we add value, we train you, we organize seminar, we link you to those that will help you to grow whatsoever that you are. That is what we have to offer, and that is why we are providing LSCTF EdFin Education Loan. LSCTF Education Loan, so that finance will no longer limit your dream. Finance will no longer limit your dream, and who can benefit? We are looking at students or parents of higher institutions. Those who have finished their first degree and they want to go and do their second degree, postgraduate. We are looking at professional students. Are you doing your ICANN? Are you doing your CIBN? You're into NIM, your CISA, Cisco, or you want to go into technical and vocational education? You are the one where, or you are a foreign student, or you are studying in Nigeria. Somebody asked question, what of foreign training? Yes, you could be in Nigeria and be attending university in the foreign land. We are available to support you. Or you want to acquire any skill. You want to acquire any skill. You want to become a fashion designer. You want to become a carpentry. You want to become plumber. You want to be whatsoever skill that you want to acquire. We are already provided the school that you are attending is registered with the government, and the school has the minimum required number of students. We are ready to support you personally. Not only you, we are ready to support the school that you attend so that you can deliver the needed skill that will make you to be able to upscale yourself during this COVID era. And in our partnership with LSCTF, what do you need? We just need your basic full KYC. We need your admission letter to that school. We need the evidence of your school fees. How much? We need to be able to ascertain, and you need to be able to show the required feed, and you must open an account with us. And if you are working now, you bring your statement of account 1 year, but if your parent is the one that is going to sponsor you, your parents will bring their statement of account. It could be your guardian, whosoever is willing to sponsor your education, and you must have LASRA ID card. Very, very key. If you have not gotten yours, I think it's still available in all local government. You must have LASRA. We must be able to identify you that you are residents in Lagos. And we need just one passport for group photograph, which you can upload online, and you will sign our direct debit mandate and GSI mandate. You need one guarantor who will equally bring his own statement of account and sign our mandate. These are the things that is necessary for you to be able to benefit, and we'll be able to upscale whatsoever level that you are. How do you apply? All you need is to go to our website, or you go to LSCT. The form will be available very soon. And we can give you as much as 5 million. So you no longer need to say that, oh, Lagos Business School is meant for the rich. No, provided you have any source of income, the money may not be available now. We can allow you to spread it up to 30 months. Provided your course is as long as that, but no longer than the duration of your course. If your course is going to be 12 months, it's going to be less or equal to 12 months. If it is 24 months, it's going to be less or equal to 24 months. And the eligibility, as I stated earlier, that we need an admission letter from the institution, and we need to validate you. We need to validate your parent or sponsor through an ID card that you are resident in Lagos, and your income capacity will be able to determine from the statement of account that you have given depending on the amount that you want, there will be need for movable collateral, which could be cars, generator, laptop. Not that we are going to collect, we just need the documentation to validate that you are truly interested in upscaling, and you will have to pay 10% initial deposit to show your commitment to that venture that you want to. And this will be available on our website. If you're available on Edfin website, it is just a two-step. Go to our website, click a button that shows LSCTF Edfin, and by the time you upload that, by the time you fill the form and you upload necessary document, you are there getting your loan in a jiffy. Thank you so much. If you want any further directory, you could call all this number. It is readily available. Our contact center is open 24/7. You can go into our website, you can call any of this number so that we'll be able to offer you that affordable skill that you can acquire to get better during this post-COVID era. Thank you so much. So if there's any question, I'll be willing to attend to any question. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tunde, for your session. Please, audience, if you have any questions, kindly drop them in the chat box. So I have one question here, Mr. Tunde. I have a run-in with a short course with LBS.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Did you hear me?
No, I can't hear you. Please, can you repeat your question?
Hello, Mr. Tunde.
Yes, can you repeat your question?
Okay, someone says, I have a running loan
Okay.
with Edfin for my school. Would Edfin help me with a short course with LBS?
There's no problem. We can always discuss that you are running a loan. It depends on your capacity. Provided you still have capacity to take additional loan, there is always provision for you. Provided you have the capacity and you are willing. Those are the two criteria. With that two criteria, we don't have a problem. It's even good that you're already our client, and therefore we'll be able to already have the KYC, already know a lot of things about you. Just discuss with us.
Okay. I hope that answers Mr. Kingsley's questions. Any more questions, please? Please send in your questions so that we can ask Mr. Tunde. Hi, Chika, any questions from YouTube?
No questions for now. No questions.
Okay, I'm looking at it. Okay, so there are no questions for now. In the absence of no questions, we have come to the, okay, I have one question. How can IT skills be introduced to SMEs to offer them a platform for wider reach?
Okay, this, you know, well, I just want to believe that if you think that your business requires that will take your business to the next level, you need to go for the training. There are a lot of training that is available, either paid or unpaid for. So if you have identified that the kind of business that you are doing now needed a skill in IT, or you would like to partner with somebody who is already skillful in IT. And that's why it builds on each individual to be able to identify the necessary gap that will not allow them to be relevant during this post-COVID. I told you that the economy of Nigeria has a lot of opportunity, but it is not for the lazy. It is only for the skills. It's only for those people who are skillful, and that you needed a skill in IT for the kind of business that you are going to. Please, we can partner with you to pay the necessary school fees for you to acquire that skill. That's what I can just advise, that if that is what you think you need, please go for it and come to us. We will sponsor you in order to get that skill that your business requires.
Okay. Someone says, I am an electrician. How can I be a beneficiary?
Okay. What I need to, he said, is an electrician. Do you want to become an engineer? Maybe you have gone to do a local electrician work. Do you want to become an engineer? Do you want to go to LBS so that you can develop your electrical shop now to become an electrical company? This is how you can benefit, provided you want to acquire a skill, provided you want to upscale yourself, because whatsoever you may have today, you may lose it one way or the other, but whatsoever skill that you have gotten, nothing can take it away. Fire can burn and burn a whole company. But once you have the relevant skill, you can start all over again and rebuild it. So if you're an electrician now and you like to become an electrical engineer, you like to become an electrical consultant, and you know that you needed a skill so that you can get better, you'll be relevant. And therefore, when they are looking for electrician, when MTN is looking for electrician, it will look for people like you. Not only Mama Kudi will be contacting you. Then you need to get a necessary skill. You need to get a better education that will expose you to the world of possibility. And therefore, we can come in to support you. Or you are already big in that electrical field, and you like to set up a school where you want to train people to become who you are, and you can know the number of students that are, those that will benefit from you. You can grow the number of your students to 50. You're able to create structure. You're able to register with TVET, and therefore, once you're able to do that, we will support you. That's the area you can come, provided you will impart knowledge, provided you are going to add value to the life of individual, we will support you.
Okay, thank you very much. Someone says, I run an edutech startup company based in Lagos. How can I access equity funding for my company, please? I need funding for scaling and marketing.
Okay, I think Mrs. Teju answered that question. I'm going to just add something to it. Now, you must be relevant before you can attract equity. And therefore, by the time you start your company, you will have started with your personal savings, either savings from you personally, from your family, from your friend. Now, if that one is not enough for you to be relevant and be noticed by those who will invest in equity, the next thing you need to do is to get a little bit geared. You need to get, if it's EdTech, provided it is EdTech, then you are my client. You can come in, number one, as part of our value-added partner. And secondly, if you know you have off-taker, then we can now support you with the necessary funding that will allow you to upscale. Since you are in education business, therefore, we are available to support you. But as far as equity is concerned, until by the time you get to that level, equity will run after you. But you must be ready to sacrifice to grow to that level, whereby people now believe in you. You have a result to display. This is what I've done over the years, and people believe that if you have done it over the years, you can do it continuously. Then you'll be able to attract the necessary equity. But now you have started with your own personal saving, that of your family, that of your friend. Then you need to get a little bit geared by taking, will be able to support you in that direction, and then you'll be able to attract the equity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Tunde, for answering that question.
Thank you.
Please educate us a little more on area of financing or funding our skill acquisition. What are the requirements?
Okay. The requirement is that once you want to acquire that skill, we want you to go to a standard educational institute, not just one corner institute that is not relevant. And that's why once we know that you are going to government registered institute, then you can bring the bill from that school to us. We will support your school fees, and through your existing job or the job of your sponsor, will be able to spread the repayment of that loan within the period of your skill acquisition. For example, you want to become a mechanic, an automobile mechanic. Not that you will go to one auto mechanic under a tree to go and learn. We may not be able to support that. But once you're able to have a school that is registered with government, that is recognized, then whatsoever may be the bill that that school is giving you, we are ready to help you to pay now while you acquire the skill. Some of you may be doing it on part-time. We will now look at do you have other source of income to determine your capacity to repay? Or if you have a sponsor or your parent or a guardian who is saying, I'm sending you there. Yes, I don't have the money now, but I can be getting certain sum every month, or I can be getting certain sum every 3 months. Then we'll have settled your school so that you can focus on acquiring that skill, and therefore you can now pay small thereafter. And with partnership with LSCTF, the interest on that amount is very, very low. That's how we can support.
Okay, thank you, sir. What are the I have another question.
And the requirement is display. You can just read it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So someone was going to ask, what are requirements for professionals who want to acquire professional certificates like ICANN, CIA, CRA, etc.?
Okay. Part of the thing that we have done in EdFin is that for now, we have registered our presence with major professional institutions in Nigeria, ICANN, CIBN, they know us. So if you want to do it, all you need to do, whether you are attending any of the tuitions institutes, we have WISE, we have PI and the likes, or you want to get your CISA, Cisco and everything. What we need is, once you have registered as students, and therefore all you need to do is school, then you can bring the bill for the exam. We will disburse as you bring it, and therefore we will spread the repayment for a period of time. So if you want to do your ICANN, because this is what you need now. You cannot just remain as accounting graduates and you want to be identified among the multitude of people that are looking for work. So if you are interested, just go to any of bring your registration, your admission, because ICANN will always say, okay, you are now a student, they will give you registration number, they will give you membership number, student membership number. Bring those things, that's an evidence that you're already a student. And therefore, if you now want to pay, because we are not going to disburse the fund directly to you, we will be disbursing it to the training institute, either to ICANN, either to CIBN, or to Andel, or into any school that you want to go to. We will not be disbursing directly to you, but we will pay on your behalf, and therefore you will pay us monthly, quarterly, or termly, depending on the flow of your income.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
So in the absence of no other questions, I would like to thank all our audience and participants for joining our third webinar series today. We have come to the end of this webinar series. Thank you very much for all our audience. Thank you very much to all our guest speakers as well. We are grateful that you joined us. Thank you very much. So we have come to the end of our session. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Well done, Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.